In today's video, we're going to be talking about broken trust and how to rebuild trust.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. We are Marcus and Ash Kusi from ourpeacefulfamily.com, where we help married couples become better husbands and wives. In this video, we're going to be answering about multiple reader questions about trust in marriage.
Yeah, we got 4 different questions, and I'm just going to read them off, and then we'll dive into the answers. How to trust your spouse after multiple extramarital affairs. Question number 2. Trust is the biggest problem. Husband feels unsure. Question 3. His lack of trust due to past relationships. And the 4th question was just trust issues. So let's address the first question first, the multiple affairs, because I know my opinion on that, and I want to know what you think.
Okay.
First.
All right.
Go ahead.
So with when it comes to multiple affairs, for us in our relationship, that is a hard line where there is no point of return, because we believe that once trust is broken, in our case, because of how loyal we are to each other, it will really be difficult for us to rebuild it. It will take many years, and the impact is just going to be overwhelming. So for us to not have our trust broken, especially when it comes to something like infidelity, we've put a lot of boundaries in place so that those things don't happen, because we purposely don't want to break our trust for each other. As a result, we are very open with each other, very open to the slightest of details. Like, we are really open. In the beginning of our marriage, we had some trust issues with me using money to invest in buying and selling textbooks online to make a profit for ourselves, to make our ends meet. But when I actually found out, she wasn't happy about it and she felt betrayed. So we had to talk about that, and then we came to agreement that no matter what happens, we're going to share every detail with each other, and we're going to make sure that we safeguard our trust, because without trust, it's very difficult for a relationship to be healthy. And in our opinion, trust is the glue that holds a marriage or a relationship together.
Yeah. Here's like a visual idea about trust that a friend brought up to me recently, and I really just love the imagery in it. But imagine your trust is this beautiful dish. And whenever that trust is broken, you're dropping the dish and it's shattering. Now, you can take that dish and all the pieces and glue it back together. But the more you break that trust and the more you piece it back together, the harder it'll be to put it back together. And eventually you're going to be left with dust. You're not going to be able to put it back together. In my opinion, multiple affairs is not something that can be reconciled. There are many marriages that deal with infidelity and they can heal after that. And I know personally for me, I could not do that at all because of how severely the trust would be broken for us at this point. That's what I'm saying. But couples are able to do it. It's definitely possible if you've had an infidelity. But when it's multiple, there's no way that I personally would advise somebody to stay in a relationship where that has happened and continues to happen, because there's no way you can trust your partner. And we believe that trust is the glue that holds a marriage together. And in order to have a healthy marriage, you need trust.
Yeah. And also, once that trust is broken, it makes it very difficult to be vulnerable with each other. And if you cannot be vulnerable to the person you're married with, it's just one thing after another will be coming up. And so it's just, if you can, do everything in your power to maintain the trust that you have, and don't do anything to break it. Yeah.
For the other questions that deal with the husband feels unsure or lack of trust due to past relationships, that I can totally relate to. We went through something similar when we were first together. Because of my past and even, my father's infidelity in his marriage to my mother, I had a lot of insecurities that I didn't realize they were there, or that was at the root of it. But when I was with Marcus, I would like have a dream that he'd be cheating on me, and I'd wake up and I'd be very angry, and he'd be like, why would you dream that? Like, I would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? He's never given me a reason to doubt him, ever. Around every turn, he's honest with me. He's telling me the truth. So why am I feeling this way? And I had to really dig deep into my own insecurities and figure out what was at the root. And so figuring out that I'm projecting on him my experience of men, my belief of men that was ingrained into me ever since I was a little girl. And so that's something that your partner would have to work through. And what you can do is be honest with them, create a safe space for them to feel safe enough to trust you and to open up to you. Therapy always helps. I know we always bring up therapy, but I am the biggest, I support therapy because it's helped me grow so much. But if you can do that self-reflection and figure out what is it that you're afraid of, or what aren't you trusting? Is it because of your partner, or is it because of your past relationships?
Yeah. To add to what Ashley said, when it comes to trying to, the second one was his lack of trust due to past relationships. You can also have a conversation with him and then ask him what is really bothering him that makes it difficult for him to trust you 100%, or to trust you and be vulnerable enough to open up his deep, dark secrets to you. Because if you don't talk to him, it'll be difficult for you to be able to help him, because sometimes your partner or your spouse might need someone to help them, and you might be the right person to help, and they're just needing you to say something or to talk to them to help them express what they are feeling, or to overcome whatever barrier that is preventing them from being able to trust you completely.
Definitely. And I just want to say again, a part of that, of my insecurities, was I had to take responsibility for those emotions. They were my emotions. I was feeling insecure about it, but it's not his fault. And so I had to be like, you know what? I'm feeling this way, but he's not doing XYZ to make me feel this way. And that's a very important distinction that the person with the trust issues and insecurities needs to have.
Yeah.
Another thing you guys could do is make sure that you have each other's passwords for social media and phones. Like, of course, there's a line where it gets to be obsessive and too much, but our phones are always available if we ever wanted to check it, or
Or
it's
emails,
just,
like computers.
yeah, like some of the things that we did in the beginning, and this will help when you're rebuilding trust, is to set boundaries. Like, have you ever had a conversation with your spouse? What's cheating to you? Can you define it? And then put up boundaries and walls around that to be like, okay, if talking too much to a person would be cheating, who you might be interested in, and because you're worried about an emotional affair, then what can you do to make sure that that doesn't happen? Can you limit the amount of times that you're talking to one individual? Or can you be like, oh, so-and-so texted me, you want to see our conversation? Mm-hmm. What are some other things that we've done?
Some of the other things that we've done with trust is we've increased our level of openness. That's been the biggest thing for us, being very, very open and vulnerable. It's difficult if you don't know how to do it, but once you're able to open up and be vulnerable with each other, it makes building trust so much easier. Also, on top of that, we are very, very consistent with what we say, in terms of if we say we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because over time, when you show your spouse that whatever you say, you're going to do it, it helps build that trust and that commitment, that loyalty. They know, okay, you're a person of your word. And so that helps them be able to trust you. And then, just doing that consistently over time and being open and honest, like over time, you'll be able to rebuild that trust. And the portions of when it turns out it's difficult is when it has to pertain with being betrayed. For example, you're loyal to your spouse and then they go cheat on you. That is going to take a lot. For some couples, it's many, many, many years. For some people, they cannot recover from it because of who they are as a person. Like it has a lot of things that comes up for them because of that happening, because of their past, because of what they've seen throughout their experiences and throughout their life. So I think those are really the key things that we've done to make those changes.
To have your actions line up with your words.
Yeah.
And the other thing we've done is to tell each other, we've agreed that if we ever felt we were missing something, or we felt like we wanted to cheat, or we were even just starting to look for something that we felt was missing in our marriage somewhere else, that we would come to each other and we would tell each other.
Yeah.
I think, cheating, it's not you just, I was too drunk, or it just happened. That's never the case. There's always little steps in that direction until the line is blurred and you're already way past it. And for us, we believe that even hiding a text message from someone or deleting something or a message or whatever, because we don't want our spouse to see it, is cheating in our relationship. And like we said, you need to sit down with your partner and define what it is to you, because again, there's couples of all walks of life and who even have open relationships. So it's really dependent on the couple.
Yeah, and drawing the boundaries.
Yeah. And again, this is just our opinion.
Yes, just our opinion and what works for us that we believe will help other couples too. So we are sharing it with you all.
Yeah. And what we would do in that position.
Yeah. And then the third one was trust issues.
Yeah, I think we've covered that. So we can talk a little bit about how to rebuild trust, after it's been broken, or in the cases of just trust issues in general, how you would encourage trust to be built. Yeah.
So first, we're going to give a short summary here, but we have a blog post on our website. If you go to ourpeacefulfamily.com/trust, you'll find that article on there, and you can read it. It goes into details about the steps that we're going to provide with you on how to build or rebuild trust in your marriage or relationship. I've already highlighted it, but the first step is that you have to be transparent, and then the second step is that you have to be consistent, and then the third step is that you have to learn how to communicate with your spouse sincerely, so that when you talk, whatever you say is what you're going to do. And with the transparency, is like we said, being very open, being vulnerable, sharing your passwords, not hiding things. Like for example, when your ex or somebody sends you a picture, you're hiding it because you don't want your spouse to see it. Those are all things that over time would erase the foundation of trust that you've built, to weaken the trust that you have as a couple.
Yeah, it can even apply to when you go over budget. Like that probably has come up the most for us. I'm like, I spent too much. I know he's gonna be mad, but it was really important for me to get whatever. So I've had to be like, okay, I overspent. Here's what I did. That's been the biggest. Like, I don't want to lie by omission.
Yeah, and be honest with that, and just being consistent with your actions. You say you're gonna do this, you do it. Over time, it will help you guys rebuild that broken foundation of trust that you have and make it solid. And if you're a couple that you have really little trust issues, you will realize that over like 10 years, 15 years, you realize that the bond that you guys have is so strong that it's difficult for a third party to come in and easily break that bond you have, because you have such deep loyalty and such deep respect for each other.
Yes, and then learning how to communicate effectively. I think that there's a lot of arguments and trust issues that can pop up from miscommunication, and when you're not able to communicate the right way. So communication is huge, it's key, and going hand in hand with that would be empathetic listening, which is a huge part of communication, and it's made a huge difference in us understanding each other and communicating. So how do you rebuild trust?
It's the same thing.
Transparency?
Yes. It's
consistency.
Transparency, consistency, and communication. Sincere communication. Just do those three things, and over time you'll be able to rebuild the trust that you've broken. We will add links to an article on our website about how to communicate with your spouse. So if you're interested in learning how to communicate with your spouse without fighting, we'll add a link to the article below this video, so you can in the comment section or description, so you can go to our website, read the article, and apply what you learned from an article, because they are very simple things, but when you apply them, you see the results that you get are very, very effective and very simple, and to help you guys build a better marriage. Yeah. Have anything else to add?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you very much again for watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment in the description, below the description of this video. And also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you can get updates about new videos that we post out. In the coming weeks, we'll be publishing new articles that goes into details about topics like how to communicate with your spouse, how to build or rebuild trust with your spouse, how to listen with empathy. We'll go into details of all of those different topics. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in our next video.